in LCK flying, and Team WE might be in a very similar boat. You know, maybe they're still trying to get into the groove of things.
It very well could be, but immediately the Syndra ban. Rusty, as you depart the desk, thank you so much for giving us this insight and wisdom. And with the first side pick, we'll see if WE decide to prioritize that jungle, as Thresh is going to follow it up. There's actually an Orianna ban as well, so WE immediately rectifying their mistakes and putting Rookie's champions away.
And making sure that Xie gets a better matchup. That said, because Invictus Gaming are on red side, they can use their last pick to put Rookie in a winning position. So despite all of these bans that Team W are throwing their way, Rookie could still end up on top.
Still not seeing any Galio or Zac bans just yet. Though we do have 10 seconds left. There's the Galio. No way Invictus Gaming lets this through.
I actually think a Galio priority pick would have been the best bet for Team WE, just because you take it mid, and then that way, what can Rookie do? He needs to go out to the side lane because Galio would be unkillable. He's that unmovable rock. But hey!
Yeah, there's the first pick, Elise, for Condi. That was actually their first ban in game number 1, so now he gets a chance to show off one of his most dominant champions. He's still one of the few junglers who goes boots 2 first on Elise.
Yeah, look for those Moby rush. That said, this is exactly what we wanted from Team WE. You know, Condi is the big facilitator for them. He can step up and be that early game carry that they've really needed to round out kind of their 35-minute style. And on a champion like Elise, he's even more devastating. So they're giving all of their responsibility to the guy who can step up and lead.
Perhaps shifting away some of that responsibility from Mystic. Perhaps we'll get the chance to see, as he will have to lane against West on that Caitlyn. Still not seeing the next pick out of IG just yet. Do they pick the Olaf so early?
They could use it as a flex, so it's not necessarily an early indicator for Duke. It can still go in Ning's hands. We've seen Peanut pick up the Olaf in the jungle when his champion pool was limited, so I'm not ready to say that this is 100% going to Duke yet.
Yeah, we'll see where it ends up going, as WE now looking for their next pickup. Lulu still available with Karma gone. Ooh, Lulu Kog'Maw. This looks like it has the initial makings of a 35-minute comp from WE, but they just tried that strategy against IG.
And this is where I will burn Invictus Gaming for the Olaf pick. Yes, it's technically a flex, but it did mean that with Karma banned and Thresh banned, that you then leave the Lulu to be taken, which empowers the likes of Kog'Maw, which we know Mystic is very comfortable playing this. So that's kind of the blunder there. Why not take Lulu in second rotation?
It's a question that only Invictus Gaming have the answer to. We will find out whether or not their answer is successful.
Well, the thing is Zyra was still available. We now see it locked in for Megan, and she's kind of the last standing, you know, caster S-tier support left.
We are now seeing the Shen ban away from 957. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Kled to follow it up. That means that Xie's massive champion pool is left largely untouched, as we're still not quite knowing where that Olaf is going to go just yet. WE get the chance to ban away a few more champions from IG. Looks like that's going to be Fiora to follow it up.
So their last bans were also the Jace and the Rumble. One of those two will get through, unless that truly is Duke taking the Olaf into the top lane. But with the Fiora ban, Team WE seem to be on the same train of thought that I am, that could go to Ning.
Perhaps anticipating the swap, as Megan is going to drop the final ban for Team IG.
Kled still available.
Still looking for that Kled. Gragas, actually, targeted towards 957. So his Kled is still up. Perhaps they think they have the answer to it?
I really like Gragas as a ban or a takeaway here, just because it would really round out Team WB's composition. We know that 957 is super confident playing it, but it also helps add that disengage or that separation factor. So Olaf runs in. Nothing's going to stop him, but you can at least stop the rest of his team following up behind him and then create some distance to burn down the Olaf before you turn. And you can do that with the cast.
Yeah, and that's now what we see for the next ban of Team WE. Kennen, so great at following up on something like that. That does mean that Kled will go through, and that's a hover now from Team IG.
I feel like you need to take it, put it up into the top lane, just to deny it away from 957. He pretty much carved his name on the international stage with that champion. Oh!
Ooh, swaps it over to Rumble. Invictus Gaming keeping us on our toes here.
But this is so scary. Again, Duke has put himself into losing matchups before and come out ahead, but Kled has so much kill pressure at pretty much any point on Rumble. He overextends in lane because he auto-pushes it with his flamethrower, and if Kled connects with his Q, he's just going to walk him down.
Yeah, and there goes Jace locked in. Kled immediately hovered. That would mean a very high attack damage composition from WE, but they commit to it. And Duke, he's playing a very risky matchup. Can he pull it through? Can he be victorious in lane once again? As Invictus Gaming now get the chance to counterpick in the mid lane. Rookie knows he has to play against Xie on that Jace, whom we've seen has also got a great track record on the champion. Looks like he's going to be taking that Victor into it. Okay,
so huge wave clear options coming out of both sides, so rectifying what kind of went wrong last game for Team WE, a completely different draft and damage riddled throughout the entire thing. What I love about this is they also got the Kled Lulu composition. So this has been super popular in the LPL, and it works like this. Kled goes in, he falls off Skarl, Lulu wild growths him into this massive tank, then Skarl returns and Kled is unkillable. Then you throw a GA on top of that and you're no longer having fun in League of Legends.
The unkillable top laner. Not to mention he's going to be in front, pulling the attention away from a Kog'Maw and a Jace. So IG is certainly going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, with Acceleration Gate as well as Whimsy, it's really easy for Mystic to remain safe into those backlines. And again, this 5v5 comp is just absolutely disgusting from Team WE. And they get to build so much damage because they have that pseudo-tankiness of the Kled and the Skarl, or of the Lulu and the Wild Growth, as opposed to having a true tank.
On the upside, though, you look at the likes of Team IG, they can just drop the red carpet right on top of that Kog'Maw and let Olaf charge his way into the back line. It's going to be somebody different doing it this time, Ning instead of Duke, but we're still looking to see if IG can pull off the upset here against Team WE, or if they will be able to pull themselves together, because this could, in fact, be the rivalry reborn between WE and IG.
There's also the fact that IG's composition is also just great at 5v5s in general. You have the Chaos Storm coming out of Victor, you have the red carpet from Rumble. If they rock up to a Rift Herald Pit, a Baron, or a Dragon, that's incredibly devastating, and it's much harder to kind of execute on the 5v5 from Team WE. They do it usually in the past, but Kled's more so of kind of like a janitorial chase type of champion than necessarily being that big wombo combo.
I also like to think of him a bit as a distraction. If you're going to fight someone, you send Kled in first to keep them all occupied while you kill the tank on their side, and then Kled pops back in with Skarl and turns it around. Or perhaps even the hard engage, just by dropping the charge and racing into the back line. But with this, we are just about ready to load onto the Rift for game number 2 between Team WE and Team Invictus Gaming. We didn't get to hear the crowd in game number 1. And it seems like they are just as silent here in game number 2.
I don't know what you want, Dom. We don't got mics.
They were so great last split. There we go.
Oh, there you do go. I'm sorry for doubting you, Dom.
Just as the crowd should never doubt their favorite teams. You got to stay committed. Stick the landing.
So far, we see a bit of a cheeky early invade from Invictus Gaming, trying to abuse the power of Olaf level 1. Now, the interesting thing about Olaf jungle, again, we saw it earlier this split from Peanut on SKT, is that he pretty much always starts the blue buff. So this makes his pathing quite predictable, and it allows the other jungler to decide if he's going to mirror Olaf or start counter-active to him. But this is actually interesting. Not starting blue, starting Raptor Camp, and possibly getting an assist from Victor.
He's already shown he's taken the Undertow, which is a huge mana spender for Olaf.
I mean, he usually takes it even if he does start the blue buff. The thing is it just increases the speed of which he jungles so much.
We're seeing him chuck axe after axe and already down to half mana as he tries to clear it out. It's certainly going to be a tough clear. Level 2 picked up as he clears that out nice and fast. Red buff finished for Condi as Megan and West are going to get some good harass by tossing out a few early plants, so they are cleared. And Ben gets a chance to answer back with some attacks of his own.
I honestly can't think of the last time that I've seen this type of jungle pathing from an Olaf in competitive play. So from Raptors to Red, and he is so low health and so low mana, you'd have to expect that he's going to clear one side of his jungle. No, he's going to go for it.
So the red buff, yeah.
He is low health, which means that Olaf's damage will increase. So that's kind of the thing, is you want to stay in that finesse area where you can jungle quickly and efficiently, but if you're invaded on, that means you're so fragile and in such a danger zone. But he's going to go Raptor right into the blue.
I do miss the days when Olaf would build massive lifesteal, and you had to build the lifesteal threshold, because as you got lower health, you attacked faster, but you also healed more, so you were able to match the damage input.
He used to have the capability to output the most damage or DPS in the game.
Yeah, Condi actually finds Duke right now and is looking for a kill. The top laner goes down. First blood for Condi.
A very early, cheesy gank. Back-to-back games in this series so far from Condi. This time around, though, he completes both buffs instead of one, and now he's running mid.
And what is the point of that ward at the blue buff right there? Was he looking for Condi, who very cleverly took the blast cone over the wall?
I think he was just denying the blast cone.
Bit curious there. Costs him his life as he actually uses teleport even to get towards the top. Ning on the invade. This is not a good place for a low-health Olaf to be. Condi finds him, starts tossing some axes, trying to heal up as best he can, but a great cocoon smite to keep Ning up. He turns it around, tries to fight him inside of the Raptor Lings, but it is not enough. Condi, 2-0.
I mean, that was a great attempt from Ning. I like the fact that he went for the smite, tried to turn, plant his feet and fight, knowing that he didn't have any other options. But unfortunately, that's what we were talking about. Olaf is so fragile in the jungle when he chooses to go that path. And Condi is not done. He has a family!
Flash Cocoon misses. They're looking for the kill. Xie will survive, but goes down to the minions.
Oh, Rookie's a god. That sidestep, the flash to dodge the cocoon, saves his life and trades, and now bottom.
Megan is ignited. He's forced to flash, burning out. Mystic autos as he steps back in. Mystic gets a kill. It's 3-1. This is a bloodthirsty game.
It is 4 minutes in this game, and we have a kill a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you, LPL.
Glitter Lance on top of Pix to put West back underneath his turret, trying to heal up with the Doran shield, but holy cow.
Okay, but let's check in on what this means. So looking at first backs, what's Rookie gonna get? Boots upgraded. Wow, okay, a lot. So Xie doesn't have his flash or his ignite. And as I start this, we're going to see Rookie actually burn his flash. So excellent dodge of the cocoon. I think it would have sidestepped anyway. And then the fade away from the tower shot. So just so unfortunate of the tower aggro juggle because Condi immediately repelled there.
Yeah, without waiting to actually pull in the aggro. Duke now trading with 957. This is that non-favorable trade you talked. Solo kills Duke. Look at how surprised he is.
Guys, I need some space to analyze the game. Stop killing each other. Okay. Rookie still has his escape summoner, at least one of them because he has the ghost, whereas Xie only has the flash. That means that Xie needs to play pretty passive. Now, it's okay for Jace because he can wave clear from a distance, but if he ever looks to go aggressive like that again, Ning can absolutely punish him. So that's how the mid lane dynamic has changed. As far as the top lane is concerned, Duke's screwed. He's got flash, but he's donezo. Kled has so much kill pressure. That tower won't save him. Flash away all you want. As long as you don't break the Q or even the Joust, Kled will find you and he will murder you. And he's going to have his charge now, so again, that flash doesn't mean anything for Rumble. He's a sitting duck.
Finally level 5 picked up as it's 4-1 for Team WE. What a feint. Picking a late game scaling composition, then going hard in the early game.
I mean, they do have late game scaling options, like you said, with the likes of the Kog'Maw, you know, they're kind of built around that. But frankly, they have really great bridging options as well. You have Elise, Moby jungler, although this time around,
actually going for the Empress.
Condi went for the Tracker's Knife as well.
But yeah, he's invading.
Super early snowball gank mechanic oriented jungler. Kled does really well into Rumble during the lane phase, so there's great kind of early to mid game options for Team WE to exploit, and they're doing that wonderfully.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we saw Mystic get a kill onto Megan for a healthy amount of gold as well. Condi. He's got flash, but look at how far back he's forced to play, just like catching the experience.
Duke is he's not having a great time right now.
Oh yeah, immediately, the moment he steps into the turret, Condi's over the wall. 957 is already there. They haven't spotted him yet.
And he doesn't have level 6, which means he doesn't have Equalizer to clear the incoming wave, which makes the dive that much easier.
Oh, he catches him with the cocoon. 957 follows up, but Duke is able to flash from the charge. Joust, Bear Trap, pulls him back in. Are they going 2 turrets deep to put him in the bin? They really are.
What did I say? It doesn't matter if he has flash because you have Skarl. The tower means nothing to him. He's just going to walk past it.
Oh, man. Even going so far as to proxy farm this. Red buff being stolen by Ning on the opposite side. Kandi will use that time to take Ning's red buff as they are traded over. West and Megan are trying to make something happen down here, and Rookie is being pulled as well.
But there's a great control ward behind tower from Mystic and Bin, which gives them the heads up. Can they escape?
That's Ghost Ragnarok. The slow tags too. He's on to Mystic. Rookie shows up with the laser. They've got to finish it off, though, trying to get the kills over to the right person. But it's on to Ning and Megan.
But this is the decisiveness that we saw in Game 1 from IG, which has their fans so excited. What?
Oh, Chinese Olaf shouting Demacia is the best thing I've heard all week.
But they see that Duke is getting punished into the top lane. They immediately make a play bottom and convert that into a tower. Excellent counterplay from IG.
WE, though, are continuing to ride this momentum. They pressure up onto the mid with Kandi and 957. The Spiderlings are going to do a lot to buy time here. They could actually even finish this off. Rookie shows up, but he doesn't have the wave clear, so he does get an awesome stun. The mid-tier 1 is broken. The equalizer on top of them. Do they have enough to follow through? They turn onto Duke. Oh, God, the poor man is not having a great time. He goes down again. 0-4, 8 minutes in.
Duke, what are you doing? Rookie doesn't have Chaos Storm. You can't follow up on your equalizer, mate.
I have never seen the man get so tilted. Oh. That man needs a Zen garden. He needs some deep breaths and a long walk through the woods because this is not a good way for Duke to go.
Get him his bubble gum.
Invictus Gaming, though, are answering back. This is so frenetic, turning now onto the Infernal Dragon.
I feel like the first game was kind of like this slow tug of war, you know, kind of these small increments back and forth. This game is just like strapped to a rocket.
Oh, man. They are sword fighting on top of a rocket flying into space.
We're still a kill a minute.
Yeah. Infernal Dragon's picked up. 957 looking now for... Oh, God. He's doing crowds. He might...
He can't... He cannot be in that lane.
Do, yeah. 957 is even clearing out the minions to allow more waves to crash in.
Duke.
Oh, that's such a sad face. Just the slow...
He's been relegated to being the red carpet bot.
Yeah.
He
does one
equalizer.
thing. Drop equalizer, profit. Oh, God, 957, don't be like that.
Which means that Team WE now have this massive advantage where they can play the lane assignment and try to exploit in kind of a 4-1 or a 1-3-1, whereas IG only have the option of the 5v5 now. They need to make use of Rumble. Yes, he's not strong because he's level 6 to level 8, but his ultimate will still mean something, whether it's the CC, the passive damage.
But that's so concerning, though, because now that top tier 2 and the top tier 1 and the mid tier 1 has been broken, nowhere is safe from Kled. Are you going to put Duke in the bottom tier 1? He can dive that. Are you going to put Caitlyn up top? He can dive you all the way under a tier 2. Seems like they're now taking Rift Herald. Gosh, what do they even use that on for a tier 2 early on? Ning shows up. They see Herald's outside of the pit, now flanked from the far side. Smite is ready from Ning, and they decide to back away. God, Herald, go back to base. Nobody, just fuck her off.
That leash.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense, actually.
He just kept on going. But now look at this. West is forced to try to deal with a Kled. Luckily, he does have Megan there.
It also means that Ning's going to have to be paying attention. It's still very scary for both Zyra and Caitlyn, but if Olaf's also there, leave him alone.
Duke is still there. He's trying to get some of the experience.
He's legitimately getting the Marin treatment.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
Oh, it definitely was.
It was actually that bad. Though they will try to get some damage onto the bottom tier 1. Good reaction from Duke. As the equalizer bot, he's able to clear out a minion wave and keep himself safe. Xie on the flank, trying to still look for pressure mid, while IG now shove up top. They answer back. It's 2-2 in turrets. And 957 is forced to play away from 3, as Mystic now might be trying to break this. No, I don't think he has enough. Ace in the hole onto Xie. Okay, deep breaths. Invictus Gaming now turning onto the Rift Herald.
Everything has been so frantic.
Yes.
Okay,
oh, wow, they managed to tag Xie. He flashes over the wall to safety. Not enough crowd control to fully lock him down. But that's the bottom tier 1 traded. Rift Herald for a turret, which is what Rift Herald's supposed to get. So not really sure who the winner is here.
Honestly, this is the greatest thing that could have happened for Duke. He's the true winner here.
He got minions.
He got out of the lane. He got to participate with his team. Did he get any passive gold? Not necessarily. I believe he used his equalizer just to clear out a single wave and then was like, I can't be here anymore. but he helped his team get something, which is great for how weak their Rumble is, that they were still able to trade pretty effectively across map.
And now we're seeing him push down bottom to try to catch that minion wave before it'll end up bouncing back. Xie gets sent down there as Mystic, completing his Blade of the Ruined King, catches these minions mid. And with IG sitting comfortably on that Rift Herald buff for another 3.5 minutes, they've got an opportunity to play around the map, take some of these neutral objectives, and prep for what's next, which looks like the biggest thing is that mid-tier 1.
And we would expect that that's where the Herald will be used. That said, IG have been one of the few teams to use the Herald pretty creatively, often to the side lane, as opposed to just using it and then, again, stacking it behind it. As
that's 1,500 gold.
This is the type of game that you have nightmares about.
Oh.
Like, Duke will never forget this game.
You wake up in cold sweats, just, oh. I was naked in school, and then I was losing to 957. It was terrible.
Do we have to go with naked?
I mean, that's the stereotypical nightmare of, like, wake up in a cold sweat. Do you never get those?
No.
So I actually never got those either. I got the, oh god, I have a test right now that I didn't study for. And I still get those. I've not been in school for years.
I can definitely empathize with that.
Yeah, that's a little more catered towards our older audience. But Duke, I don't think he's going to be getting those nightmares. But he is certainly getting schooled right now. This is not a great game for him. Still 1,500 gold down.
He's doing the best he can, though, and he's shored up a lot of his CS disadvantage by moving kind of back and forth in between these waves. And lucky for him, these dragons haven't been very impactful. It is an ocean dragon that's spawning right now. They got the first Infernal. Oh, no, Rookie!
Oh, flashes the wall, and he's going for it. 957 does the old loop-de-room. Oh, man, to chase Rookie. I love that so much. Oh. Skarl pathing is hilarious. Did you see Skarl in One for All mode when there was Talia there as well?
I only play ranked.
And Talia, it was 5 Talias versus 5 Kleds, and the Talias set up a maze with their walls, and the Kleds tried to figure it out by ulting.
That's cute.
It's amazing.
Nice thing is though Rookie burned his Flash and Ghost, again, he bought more creeps for Duke. We're slowly climbing back.
He is, yeah. Ben eating a bit of harass. Invictus Gaming are now poised around the mid lane. They've still got the Eye of the Rift Herald buff, but not for too much longer. Mystic, actually, going to take that initial burst of damage because he can heal it back as Ning sticks his axes together and summons the Rift Herald. She is going to charge forward. Mystic will try to defend along with the rest of his team, but that is so much damage. The turret will be broken by IG.
And here's the thing, they have eyes on 957. They know they're not getting flanked. Xie!
Oh, get in front of it! There he goes. Oh no, he had his ultimate on, so he couldn't ride with the Jace. He tried to predict the blast cone. Oh, that's amazing.
But as I was saying, the fact that Kled had used his ult on Rookie and they had set up the side waves, it was again a great reactionary play from Invictus Gaming to slow down the pace of the game, grab hold of the reins, and try to find an objective trade. And they've slowly been kind of inching their way back into this.
Now, Ocean Dragon has picked up for Team WE. And as you said, despite IG inching their way back into this, they're only down about 1,000 gold.
Big thing, though, is that Infernal is the next dragon. So there's now a 6-minute timer on Invictus Gaming for how long they get to sit back and just kind of relax.
Yeah. We're still seeing a huge gold difference between the top laners, about 1,500, but everywhere else it's anywhere from 300 to 400 either way. So with all of that gold on 957, IG are going to have to play around that if they want to try to get back into this game even further. Luckily for them, though, they don't have any huge objectives until that Infernal Dragon spawns for at least the next 4 minutes.
I don't necessarily even mind the big gold difference. The thing is that Rumble is a low econ top laner because he's level dependent, and that's what I do mind, is the level difference here. Duke is quickly catching up. He was level 8 just, I don't know, 45 seconds ago, but getting closer to that level 11, and that's going to be the next big ticking point for him. So,
and you can still see how safe he's being right now, taking Krugs instead of pushing the wave past his own lane.
His bad day is coming to an end.
Duke's day out. More like Duke's day in at this point. He does have his Leandri's finish, now picks up a control ward.
He's like all of the penetration.
Yes. And, whoa, Ning in his own jungle forced to use his ultimate to escape from Condi and Ben, who set up vision top to enable 957 to look for some pressure. Duke still just hugging the turret. Please be safe.
There was the on the way ping.
And right now, Invictus Gaming are defending mid. Recall completed from Rookie as Ning looks to clear out Scuttle Crab on that Dragon just to make sure he's got vision down there. Still no sign of Xie as he's currently split pushing bottom with his own tier, so going for some high damage as the game goes on. But with Rookie and West in the mid lane, they can quickly come to Duke's rescue. But WE, they're poised to dive.
2 members of Invictus Gaming, though, on the bottom side. So this is a numbers disadvantage for IG. Now 3, as West waddles away.
Yeah, Rookie actually heads bottom to catch that minion wave instead.
Are they going to do it? Yep, here they go.
Yeah, this is the dive. Recall started and canceled from Megan. He's sitting inside the bush. Don't notice me, please. Tries to turn it around. Duke will die, and now they turn onto Megan. Here comes the rest of IG. But perhaps it would have been better to not let them see you. Ace in the hole doesn't even get a kill on the backside as they do dive and pick up 2 kills.
Just brutal to watch and beautifully orchestrated from Team WE. The fact that the Cocoon still found Duke after the flash, I'd love to see a slow-mo of that interaction.
Oh, and now they've found West. Ooh, speak of Cocoon. Xie now breaking down the mid tier 2 along with pressure on that top tier 2. 18.5 minutes in, and WE are slowly but surely breaking further and further ahead. Despite some clever plays and trades from IG to bring it back to even, we're still seeing the large, commanding play from WE.
And this is the Team WE that I wanted to see return back to the LPL. Incredible early game, great team fighting.
Ooh, snare on the Mystic. Duke actually continues to follow up, but Mystic will be able to walk away.
Baron spawning in 1 minute, so they don't have to play these extended side lanes for too much longer, especially with as much pick as they have on this comp.
Here's that dive again.
Okay, where's the Cocoon? He's going to flash.
Oh my
Condi
God!
predicted it!
How does he do that?
It's almost like he's the best jungler in the LPL.
Well, as of last split, it's a new dawn, Frosco. She's giving me a look right now. Oh boy. Even taking a look at the CS, he's 60 CS down, but he's 4-0-2. And still actually even in levels with Ning. So it just speaks to the different play style of these junglers and what they try to play around.
From minute 0, Condi's just been online. Rocked up into the top lane, went into the mid lane. Guy's been on fire.
Now blue buff is the fight. WE set up some vision and pull it away. 957 is there as well. Cocoon again finds Duke as he's taking more and more harass. He's got the equalizer, and this is a narrow corridor, but is blue buff worth fighting over? Is it worth dying over? 957 says yes. He goes in, and he's a lot of CC. There's the equalizer on top of him, and 957 will just drop Skarl and get right back out.
But ultimately, the on-the-way ping comes out towards the Baron, now answered by 3.
Assist, I need wards, let's go. Mystic, what are you doing?
It's now actually a race. Look at Ning and Rookie booking their way over there.
He's going to eat a shock blast from Xie as he's pushing in the minion wave to try to claim control over this mid lane so that his team can move in and follow through. 957 is now fully topped up with a fresh Skarl and makes his way towards that Baron buff.
Oh no. Who's going to face check? Make it be Olaf.
Leads the way. Cocoon finds him. Still has the Ragnarok, but he's chunked down to half. And again, a delayed reaction from IG. This is not the IG we saw in game number 1.
Unfortunately for Invictus Gaming, they used their equalizer over in the blue buff scuffle. If they had had it available, I have no doubt that Duke would have immediately pulled the trigger on that, at least to force out Olaf's ult.
Still now 1,800 gold lead for 957, even in the top lane, or even in mid lane, even in the jungle, and about another 1,400 gold lead for Mystic on that Kog'Maw. They're turning now onto the Baron. Megan steps forward. Oh no! He can't see it! There they go. Now they should finally be able to. Megan tosses one. Blast Cone is up. Duke is ready. He's got the Electro Harpoon, but Condi smite secure. Down to 200 health.
So close. Megan trying to be cheeky, using his plants over the wall so he can get that limited vision to try to take out the control ward. But fortunately for him, Ning doesn't have flash. He'd have to go all the way around to even look for the smite steal. So at best, they're looking for a fadeaway Q.
Yeah, and now this is Baron on Team WE, one of the most punishing teams in the league with it.
Baron and an Inferno Drake. Team WE have everything and more that they want. They're still incredibly far ahead, and they're going to outscale Invictus Gaming's composition anyway. So at this point, it's just a matter of execution for WE.
They are certainly looking to be informed, definitely having remedied their problems from game number 1. This is a team that is on the same page. They are ready to fight, and they are ready to go hard. And Invictus Gaming, they're trying to stall it out as best they can, but now they need to do it against the likes of a Baroned up Team WE, and immediately are spotted.
Yeah, that was the best case scenario, hopefully getting a pick on Mystic as he ramped the minions up the lane. And it looks like they're going to be attacking 3 different lanes at once.
Yep, Baron and all 3. Mystic clears out the control ward as he starts stepping forward. Expertly dodging the damage and harassing West away. Mid-tier 2 has already fallen. 957 has disappeared from vision to make it even more dangerous to show yourself past the inhibitor line. As he heads back top to finish the work that he started.
At this point, Invictus Gaming's last hope is just a miracle 5v5. You're looking at Rookie here. He does have the upgraded Hex Core as well as Lich Bane. So his burst damage is quite impressive, but the problem is there's just so many targets for Team WE, even if you hit the Kog'Maw.
They're trying to force a fight right now, looking for Condi, the jungler. He's got nowhere to go and dies in midair, burning down. 957 is followed up upon as Ning, Duke, and Rookie, the Bash brothers, are able to take out 2 kills. But they lose the middle inhibitor turret. They've still got Mystic sieging up bottom. They are targeting Xie. He's caught on the knock-up, caught in the CC chain. And despite the wild growth, will finally drop to all 5 members of Invictus Gaming. They defend, but the base has been broken.
So Team WE punished for using the Baron in all 3 lanes. Again, the decisiveness of Invictus Gaming to collapse on someone. Fortunately for them, they don't lose their inhibitor. So I'm going to call it a win for IG despite all of the global gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what, close to a 10K? We're about
7K, yeah. Was 10K maybe a little bit earlier when all the turrets were taken, but now IG got the chance to get back on the map.
But so much of that gold disparity is probably still between Duke and the rest of the map, whereas Rookie still right on clock. Victor has an incredible mid-game power spike because his itemization is so cost efficient. Again, having that Lich Bane, and as long as he's participating in these fights and he finds the targets, the scary thing is when everyone's grouped up. As I was saying is, Victor would have to hit and kill everyone because there's so many damage threats, like Condi's a threat, 957's a threat, Kog'Maw's a threat. But when they're isolated into kind of these 3v3s, these 1v1s, then it becomes easier. But in the full 5v5, unless everyone just stands in Chaos Storm, that's still a big uphill battle for IG.
I mean, one can hope, right?
Well, with Kog'Maw's range, it'd be very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd have to pick either I'm throwing this into the back line to zone the Kog'Maw out, or I'm trying to kill the front line of the Elise and the Jace and the Kled that are jumping on my face.
Well, he's getting there. Working towards that Void Staff soon to be completed. Zanya's, as you said, finally finished for Duke as he's working towards a Void Staff of his own. We're even seeing the jungle item being forsaken by Ning. He rushed straight for the Righteous Glory and Spirit Visage before finishing off his Cinder Hulk. And
here's the other thing. Because they didn't break the inhib and because they have the likes of the Caitlyn and the Victor, it's still really hard to break these towers.
And bit of a tragedy for them if they are unable to respond to this, because right now we're seeing Team WE just play so intelligently around the map, and really they're setting the pace of the game. Invictus Gaming are having a lot of difficulty responding to this right now. They did make a decisive play up towards that top side in which they were able to collapse and pick up a few kills, but how long will those kills last them? Will it be able to last them until the next Baron where WE are sure to make another play?
Well, that's the thing. It's the onus on Team WE to end the game. Yeah, you have Mystic who's doing incredible damage and West can't stand across from him, but West doesn't need to stand across from Mystic right now. He just needs to clear the wave. So Team WE, they need to be decisive at the group up is 5. They just run in a Scarl and just kill everyone and take the entire base.
Yeah.
Or if Team WE don't realize how strong they are, don't group up as 5, then they just wait for the Baron and try to smother Invictus Gaming out that way. But then that opens up the potential of, a steal. So.
I think it is a little bit concerning as well, because even if they do try to go for that hard committal where they rush in behind Scarl and race after someone, it's against the likes of a Caitlyn, against a Zyra, someone who's going to be happy to sit back and say, yes, please, run at me. Allow me to shoot you multiple times before you actually get back here.
I don't think she wants that Kled running at her.
Well, not that one specifically.
It's more so Rookie again at this point. You know, he's close to his Void Staff. Again, Victor has incredible mid-game itemization, very cost efficient. He's not behind, although the rest of his team is. So if they all just kind of walk into multiple lasers, walk into a Chaos Storm, he can still do a lot of damage. But we were talking about how that's still fairly difficult in terms of the execution of the team comp. Like, Kog'Maw's going to be standing way in the back. You throw your Chaos Storm, you try to zone that guy away. Well, guess what? Kled's underneath that,
through.
and he's going to delete everyone.
And like you said, there's so much ambient damage on the team from just about everyone. Literally, in my notes, I have 2 things written down for game number 2. Number 1, draft. WE need to draft better if they want to win. Number 2, Condi early. I think he got that.
And yeah, that's what we wanted to see from Team WE. I'm happy, you know, kind of taking a step back, it does make sense that for game 1 of their summer split, that they would just come out and play kind of the old school 35-minute Elder Dragon Team WE. You know, why try to chance anything? But coming into game 2, the series is on the line. It's like, okay, let's show them our new tricks that we've learned, not just at MSI, but also kind of on the back half of Spring Split, which is that Condi, you know, picking up the likes of the Elise and just getting in your face and getting it done, which happened from minute 1. Poor Duke. This guy's KDA is pretty much ruined for the rest of the split because of this one game.
He's got some more chances. I mean, it's 10 weeks of play, Frosco.
That's a hard hole to dig out of.
Duke.
He's like 0-7 right now.
It's not 0-7. He was 0-4 earlier.
He's definitely 0-6 at least.
Oof, you're right. That is a little tough.
It was rough. Like I said, he's getting the Marn treatment.
On the upside, he does have the likes of... no, I was about to come up with something good. The top lane is actually really stacked for this group in general because you've got amazing Jay, you've got Audi now showing up along with Mouse, and then Flandre and Lies, who actually showed up with a pretty good performance. So while you would look to him traditionally and say, hey, Duke, probably one of the best hands down in the top lane, he actually might have some competition here.
What's nice is the renaissance of top laners in the LPL in general. 957, it's so funny because he goes to MSI and he just outperforms all expectations. He looked great in the LPL final, but if you actually back up and look maybe 3 weeks before that, he was a huge liability for the team. In both of Team WE's losses to JD Gaming, now or formerly then QG Reapers, as well as EDG, it was 957 who was exploited. You know, he was getting the Duke treatment, getting dove and kind of pushed around, making these overzealous plays. We think back to game 1, just an hour ago, where he's on that cannon and he flashes forward. He's like, oh wait, I don't want to be here. That's kind of what we more so expected from 957. You know, he's great at the 5v5s, but his lane phase is pretty lackluster. And then in comes this Kled out of nowhere, and he's suddenly a superstar.
And Duke is dead again.
But is he 0-7?
As we get back into it, I think it might be a little bit worse as we're now 30 minutes into the game. Looks like Team WE did exactly as you predicted. They stacked up behind Kled and they charged, killing both Megan and Duke. They are now turned onto the Baron. He's 1-6.
It's on the board.
Not that bad. It's a 0.5 KDA. He can get back from this.
He can recover. And he'll pretty much get game 3 to do it because it looks like we're going to game 3 for this series.
With Baron now picked up for Team WE, they've got a lot more momentum. They're 11,000 gold ahead. And you can guess where a lot of that gold is stacked up onto. 957 is huge at 2-1-5. Even Condi at 5-1-3.
But also,
know they are there? Oh, yeah.
Mystic at 4-1-1. And look at the itemization on Kog'Maw.
I love how patient he is, just sitting back behind the minion wave, not going to overextend anymore, not going to 90 caliber net into Rookie.
I mean, how many times does he check those brushes to see, 20 members of an IG standing
there? Yeah, exactly. Trap line now set up from IG. You've already got 957. No teleport split pushing bottom, but he almost has his charge. Xie still shoving mid, and that middle inhibitor is down. Duke is trying to hold both of those by himself, while 4 members of Invictus Gaming try to deal with 3 of WE. This is not some happy math.
But this means that IG just need to be confident and brave and look for the collapse. They actually just spotted out that Xie was clearing control ward, so IG actually should be going now. They know that Kled and Jace were bottom, but that window has closed.
Yeah, the turret's already been broken down. Ning and Rookie swap with Duke to try to defend, but it is not enough. The next inhibitor will fall to Team WE. GA finished on 957. Like you said, they've still got that Lulu, so he's going to be even harder to kill.
And Team WE have just run away from this game from minute 1.
Goon goes wide, not quite finding anyone there, but perhaps just the threat of it is enough, as Megan eats a shock blast down to half health. Duke tries to pull the minions into the Nexus turrets, but Baroned up super minions does not a happy Nexus turret make. And again, Megan it's another huge hit.
Slowly but surely, though, we're continuing to smother, to whittle, to bleed out.
Flash Cocoon misses West, but he still gets a lot of damage. 957 dives in for Rookie, goes low and gets his GA pop. The minions are cleared out, but he doesn't have Flash and will actually die here. Equalizer on top of 2. Duke leads the charge in. Ace in the hole onto Condi. He goes up, but will have to come back down as that's Shie diving onto Rookie. Condi dies, and this is Invictus Gaming winning the fight, keeping their inhibitor standing. And Mystic is trying to catch up. He does, and will go down. Oh, that's the ace for Team IG.
Okay, IG finally plant their feet. They decide to be brave. Or more so, Team WE just absolutely...
Yeah. 957 went a little bit too hard.
Yeah. There was multiple things that went wrong that fight. It was 957 diving way too deep. It was the fact that Mystic did virtually no damage. Just so indecisive. Are we attacking the structure? Are we attacking the champions? But here we go. We get another look at this. 957 is going to dive multiple towers, and then he's going to get a trap line underneath him, immediately pop up, and die right again. But take a look at what Mystic is doing on your screen right now. He's just not doing anything. And it's now this, are we attacking the champions? Am I going to hit the inhibitor? Finally throws down some damage there, misses his ultimate, and now it's too little too late when he finally plants his feet, looks to turn, and then IG overwhelmed them.
Oh, man. And the sad execution onto Rookie as West now getting a little bit bigger. Still nowhere near the size of Mystic on that Kog'Maw, but Caitlyn has some time to scale. The mid inhib has respawned. Top is still up, and suddenly the map is slowing down a bit.
Yeah, and suddenly things are not back in IG's court, but much better for them. That goal difference is starting to mean less and less as we get closer to kind of that 65, 70K mark as more people are getting their core itemization out. Caitlyn, in particular, Infinity Edge, as well as her 2 attack speed items. Again, there's no true tank on Team WE, so the armor penetration isn't as necessary as it would be in a different game.
This is now going to help out quite a bit as we've got another Infernal Dragon spawning in 40 seconds. WE are 3 dragons to 1 as 957 misses his wall hop. But this is Ning heading bottom. Duke with his teleport is ready and currently just sitting outside of vision, as he's now finished off his Void Staff as well. So we are hitting some big breakpoints. Level 16 for Duke means level 3 Equalizer. Rookie as well.
We made it.
Yeah, he's got the experience. He's got the levels.
He's got his 2 penetration items, as well as his Hourglass. This is all Rumble needs.
He's now splitting on the opposite side of the map from 957, so he's probably going to be a little happy about that. But 957 is still putting on the pressure. He leads a minion wave into the inhibitor, and the rest of WE behind him create a lot of threat.
Here we go, round 2. If
all
we're
right.
going to fight, fight all at once.
Yeah, super minions are now crashing onto the next turrets. As Cocoon will get some initial harass onto Duke. And yeah, Rookie trying to look for some harass over here as the trap line has been set up. Mystic steps forward, starts attacking over the trap line. He's working it down, but that's the Equalizer. Mystic shielded, doesn't take too much damage, but that's the Equalizer completely nullified by a single item. Redemption tops them all back up.
That's the common thing. Any time you see a Rumble in a game, you just pick up that item. As now Mystic going aggressive.
Yeah, he's playing really dangerous, but he's doing a lot of damage and will force IG back. The inhibitor has been broken. And with Baron up in 90 seconds, Team WE see no sense in risking it for the second one as well.
Yeah, our Team WE being so respectful of Invictus Gaming now. With Rookie picking up that triple kill, now he's got the Death Cap, the Void Staff. I mean, you already listed all the items. But the fact of the matter is that Victor is a huge deal now. He was a problem before, and now he can actually carry and turn this game around if Team WE choose to blunder another team fight like what happened last time.
Yeah, this is now WE looking for the Infernal Dragon. Blue buff is up, and Mystic thinking he might secure it for himself. Spots only a ward, Rookie and Megan. And that is blue buff picked up by Rookie, I believe, as Dragon is now picked up for WE. That's 4 dragons with Baron in 45 seconds.
And now they've opened up the other win condition of the Elder Dragon, if we get that far. You would assume that this next Baron spawning in 30 seconds is going to be the nail in the coffin for Invictus Gaming, but they have this tiny window where they could look to fight it.
Yeah, it would be 225 true damage on each auto attack from Mystic from the burn, not to mention a doubly effective 2 Infernal Dragons.
And the Infernal Dragons mean so much for someone like Jace, who really only has effectiveness when he can chunk out that backline that he was doing to Megan on the Zyra, and the Infernal just amplifies that so much.
Yeah. Now they've set up an enormous amount of vision on that Baron side of the map. 957 is already bottom, prepping that minion wave into the freshly respawned inhibitor. If he can pull someone apart, that would be huge. Duke is actually on his way to answer. He's now got a needlessly large rod. But it is just such a huge stat difference between the two of them, though experience is no longer as much of a factor.
Again, I'm not too concerned with Duke at this point just because he has the core items that he needs. Again, Rumble fairly low econ to what he's going to offer to a team and what he's going to offer to a fight.
So Baron is now picked up by WE. No fight from IG. Seems like they're going to make their last stand back at the Nexus turrets once again.
I mean, they've got their trap line set up there. They've got tons of defensive vision so they can see WE coming from every angle. And they have incredible wave clear that doesn't really care about the Baron-empowered minions. So I like the fact that Invictus Gaming didn't want to risk the entire game on trying to blind check into a dark area.
Walking down a dark alley at night, certainly not the best idea, especially when WE are in that alley. As Condi again leads the charge with 957, they look for the inhibitor. Ace in the hole finds Xie, but it's already chunked down so low with Baroned up cannon minions firing on it from a distance. It's only a matter of time. Where does IG draw the line? They've still got that equalizer. Duke steps forward and Mystic steps back. It's a dangerous dance.
Still alive!
With 67 health. They now move towards the mid lane. All it takes is a single step to go over and finish it off, but just pulling IG apart, and they are trying to move back and forward.
And they need to be patient for what's happening in the top lane. You can see the super creeps coming in. Invictus Gaming, like you said, just getting ripped apart at the seams right now.
Yeah, here comes the next wave. Flash Cocoon. That's going to be a lot of damage. West goes down. Repel is going to get Condi away to safety, but the 80 carry is already dead. Perhaps they have drawn their line too late.
Wow, they're still being so respectful. I'm waiting for Team WE to just charge in.
Dive in. Yeah, they've got the charge. Perhaps they're going to look for the fountain. There goes the snare. Rookie is the target, and he is dead immediately. There's the dive. Ning Ragnarok's onto the fountain, but it is not enough. Duke with the Zanyas for the flavor will die one final time before the Nexus crumbles. And now we go to our first Game 3 of Summer Split.
An explosive early game that stumbled a little bit, kind of in the mid to late game transition, but Team WE reminding everyone why they are the best team in the LPL right now and crushing IG in Game 2.
Very strong performance. And as you said, it really did start in minute 1. Out of the gates, just maintaining that pressure, getting all up in IG's business as much
Everyone's
as they can.
grill.
Yeah. That was a really rough game for some players on IG, but they did put out a valiant effort, and they demonstrated that they still have got the resilience to try and play it out, even if they did not succeed in the end.
There were some intelligent, cross-map trades when Invictus Gaming fell behind. They did a great job defensively warding, taking in the information that Team WE were giving them, and then trying to crawl their way back into the game. They did a good job slowing it down, but ultimately, this was Team WE's game to lose.
It certainly was, and they were able to close things out, as you can see on your screen. Rusty, welcome back to the desk.
Thank you. That was a much better performance from Team WE. They drafted things that they play all of the time and that they're very good at. They first picked an Elise, and from that moment, it felt like WE were already going to play better than they were in game number 1. So kudos to WE's drafting for immediate improvements. Every time you see 957 pick Kled, you saw it at MSI. Pretty scary champion, usually banned away from him. And a lot of this, to me, whilst we can see the draft, actually stems from the pick ban phase of Invictus Gaming. And the fact that they swapped to red side from blue side, it means the priority shifts, and WE they actually get their strong meta champions because Invictus Gaming are forced to ban the strong ones, such as Zac.
Yeah, and with that, we were able to see huge momentum from the likes of Condi right out of the gate, going for the cocoons, getting that very clever pathing to find Duke as he went for a super early level 2, level 3 ward to try to find him. But that's the brilliance we expected from the MVP.
Yeah, and you'd have to imagine, right? Like, it was very good of him to be in the area to get the gank off in the first place, but why is the ward going to the blue buff when you can place it next to the explosive plant and just be prevented of the gank anyway? Like, you know that Olaf's not going to come and help you. You know that you're deep warding and you're trying to get in before the Elise finishes the jungle clear, perhaps. Maybe find him at Gromp before he goes for the gank and then back away. But, like, there's one thing, there's one mistake that gets you a kill, doesn't even flash, knows that he's just dead. That's good. but then dies 7,000 more times throughout the next 5 minutes.
Give or take.
We need to stop saying that. I'm exaggerating when I say these numbers, Dom. The idea is that no matter how hard Duke tried, from the moment that he died the second time, it was over. Like, top lane was gone until level 11, and then they made it worse and worse and worse. No one was going to come and help him. It's not worth helping him at that stage. Just let him die and try and trade well, which is what Invictus Gaming did.
They were trying to play around the map, looking for those tier 1 trades. Rookie was still very intelligent in how he was able to keep himself safe and avoid that early pathing from, the gank from Condi. And another lane that did see actually a little bit of difficulty was West and Megan against the super combo of Mystic and Ben on that Kog'Maw.
I mean, they did go aggressive in early lane phase in game number 1. So West and Megan, overall the series so far, haven't done super poor, especially against the likes of Ben and Mystic, who are such a terrifying bottom lane. But yeah, things got pretty difficult for them.
Yeah, and the fact that it was a Kog'Maw getting the kills earlier on in the game is always going to bode poorly for their opponents. You know, there's going to be the late game scaling, and no doubt when you see the end of that game, Mystic was a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah.
He was a super scary Kog'Maw, but the fact that the rest of his team got him over that line really easily made a lot of sense, right? Like, even 957 picked up a Phantom Dancer as Kled.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't really make sense. It should never work, but it did because they were so far ahead.
MVP, though, is going to go over to Mystic at 7-2-2. He did so much damage. What is that, 41% of his team's damage? Trying to give Doindy a run for his money.
An absurd percent, but much easier when you do have the likes of Kog'Maw and you're able to build Rage Blade into Blade of the Ruined King. Or excuse me, Bork into Rage Blade.
Yeah, not an Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess we're never really going to let that one go. But again, this is a huge performance that we're seeing out of Team WE as they seem now to have finally returned. And maybe they weren't quite taking Game 1 as seriously as they should have. But in Game number 2, they definitely look like they're running full steam ahead.
I mean, it's the difference between WE and Invictus Gaming and why one of them has kind of returned to their legacy and the other one hasn't. And it's this idea of consistency. You know, Invictus Gaming constantly will come out and they'll get you with this great sucker punch. And they look great and the hype returns and the fans get behind them. And then the rest of the series falls apart. I will say that IG still showed relatively smart things in game number 2, so it wasn't like they just got blown out of the water. But if they're ever going to be an elite or top team contender in the LPL, they need to tighten these things up and take a page out of WE's playbook.
Yeah, and it's either drafting to how they're going to play or just playing it a little bit differently. For what it's worth, in that second game, though, the turret taking, the trading, and they were actually a little bit ahead in tempo as well throughout all of this. Invictus Gaming were kind of matching what WE were doing with a feeding top laner, that they were trying to recoup that fact for and just get him to a point where he might be able to be relevant. And as far as I'm concerned, Invictus Gaming did the absolute best job they could have at trying to do that. But by the time they won a team fight, they were stuck inside their own base. There was not a lot left for them. And Rookie, albeit a god, still having a really good series, is never going to stop the amount of damage that comes out of 5 people from WE in the end.
It really seems like it's a dangerous game of Jenga, where how many pieces can you take away from the foundation of the team before it ends up collapsing over? We still saw Rookie as an excellent foundation for such a long portion of the game. I mean, you saw his damage at the end, but like you said, it just seemed to crumble apart. Whereas you look at WE, they have so many different pieces.
I mean, frankly, Duke just looked tilted. You think about that equalizer attempt mid when Rookie didn't have ultimate. Like, that's a clear communication problem between 2 Korean members.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if he can pull it together. He's got a quick few minutes to get ready. We're going to go ahead and get that game ready for you as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.